Good night and welcome to Mindful Live 319. I'm your host Nathan Springer. Thank you for joining me. And once you're on the inside, as per usual, hit that like button. We are here on the last day of November, 30th of November 2023. Yep. Wait. This is the 30th of November, right? November is one of those 30-day months. To be honest with you, sometimes I have to go back through the whole rhyme. 30 days of September, April, June. And the rhyme itself sometimes wants to slip out my head with those number of days. When it's coming down to the last couple days in the month, you just check the calendar to make sure. But yes, it's the 30th of November, the last day in November, right before December. The year is coming to a close and it's Thursday. And what we usually do on Thursday over here on the Mindful Live is we have Thursday talks. Whatever the conversation, questions or comments inside of the chat, inside of the live chat, that's what we're talking about. So if you have a comment, a question, you can feel free to give it or post it over there in the chat. Or if you'd like to join, you can jump over on TikTok and join in and actually have a conversation over there, as many people do sometimes. What's been in the news lately? What are your minds full of? What are you mindful of? What have you been thinking about recently? What has been stuck in front of your face, it seems? Today I was looking at the gas find over in Tobago by the A&R Robinson airport bit that they're building there. When I first saw the headline, I was like, oh, that would make some Tobagonians very happy. Gas found in Tobago, imagine that. Unfortunately, it's just some methane that could have just caused construction problems. Wrong kind of gas, unfortunately. I see you over there, Dream Chaser. Welcome to the server. What's going on, folks? Hit that like button, double tap the screen over there on TikTok if you have joined. That's how you hit the like button. Good night, Anika Best. And hitting that like button helps to tell the algorithm, we're living under an algorithmic kind of world right now. It helps tell the algorithm, hey, this is some good stuff. Send out the notification to some more people. Quickly, please. That's what the like does. So if you're viewing this, make sure to hit that like button. If you are looking at this on repeat over there on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button too. Many of you view this and you just look at it or you just listen and you're not hitting that like button. You could hit the like button early on to just avoid the wonder of having to come back and hit the like button. So you hit the like button all now and get that out the way. Drop a comment if you have something to say. Anika Best, it's Thursday Talks. We're just talking. No direct topics, at least none raised yet. If you have a comment or a question inside of the live, you can ask those. Or if you're feeling to, you can jump in and talk if you're in such a mood. What's your opinion on Get Excel? I don't know what that is. At least not in that form. What's Get Excel? I have no clue. If any of you have not yet subscribed also, Nathan Springer over on YouTube, you can head over there and subscribe to me and you would be able to catch all of the Mindful Lives, any of them that you might have missed. You're feeling like, you want to go and take in the whole thing. Some very interesting conversations have been had, some interesting topics covered. If you're interested in that, you can head over to Nathan Springer on YouTube and be sure to subscribe. E-commerce platform where you buy into at 3 different levels and drop box shipping. Oh. I do not know this company. I do not know that service. I do not know the platform. But from the moment you start to sell me buying at different levels, and it anytime there are too many gamey features inside of something, I start to wonder if it's totally above board, or if it's one of the coffee deals or forex deals, or the kind. Oftentimes it makes me wonder that from the moment some of those things are said, you get a kind of red flag going up a bit there. Like if it's something to make money, or something that is useful, there needn't necessarily be any gimmick to make it more tempting. That's the way at least I see it usually. So when something seems a bit like a gimmick added on, you wonder about it. Gaining popularity here in TNT like crazy, real popular now, and yes, crypto wallets and such. Well, nearly anything that dealing with the possibility of gaining money gets popular in Trinidad very quickly. Like, I think, is there one of those networking kind of schemes that didn't make their way to Trinidad? Was there any one of them that wasn't a hit in Trinidad? Trinidad, we they call us tricky daddy, and for a reason. We like that kind of stuff. Tell the people hello. Telling the This is the host, just by the way. She's the host. I'm just the co-host. I hold on while she's preoccupied doing her other very very busy stuff. Are you in it, Anika Best, by chance? Are you already in the Get Excel? And what do you think about it? Does it seem all above board? Like there's no, I'm scared. Well, scared might be a good place to be when it comes to such things. You don't want to be another case of the DSS, or the what were they calling those, the flower susus, where your flower blooming, and whose flower is blooming, and I'm there thinking to myself, I think this is some primary school math problems. Hi, Kerwin Mason. I think these are some primary school math problems. A little primary school math may solve some of these issues for you. There's no way for the money to multiply like that. Why you don't trim the beard, bro? Because I have a wife. And having a wife gives me the confidence of not having to do anything when it comes to landscaping myself, unless she declares it's necessary. So random men on the internet have zero say on my facial hair. I'm curious why Fraud Squad or the TTPS not doing anything about it. Well, it's according to about what? And even with the DSS, with that susu business that went on, the couple, yeah, thank you, Kerwin, the couple years ago, the guy who was at the top of it, that seemed like he was in legal trouble because of it. He never got into any legal woes directly dealing with that susu. It's not that. So it's a matter of what you could prove. I signed up about 3 months now, but never paid anything because I'm very two-minded. Purnell Brewster, I don't blame you. Any of those money things, and it sounds like a little gimmicky. The everyone is trying to get rich fast. It's not our jurisdiction. The reality is, if you're a bit worried about some of them, you might miss out on opportunities. Like there may have been a possibility I could have gotten Bitcoin maybe back in 2013 or something, and if I got my hands on a couple Bitcoin back in the early 20 teens, I could have been a millionaire by now. But then you hear someone selling some random piece of internet technology that is supposedly worth some money. You're like, this doesn't sound like a above the board idea. So you might miss out on some opportunities, maybe, but you'd also for sure miss out on being conned out of your money also. Because there are lots of fly-by-night con men going around the internet these days. What does this saying go? A fool and his money shall be swiftly parted or soon parted or something to that effect. Invest in what you understand, and to some extent, invest in yourself. If you have some extra finances and you're looking for someone with a great idea, you be the someone with a great idea. If it sounds too good, there might be lots of problems. Yeah, if it sounds too good to be true, it's because very likely it is. Investment 101. And if you're investing it, be sure you're willing to lose it. Like the guy who was taking TikTok by storm a couple months ago, and as far as I know, the whole investment scheme has basically wrapped up by now. And I mean, no one any mal intent, any kind of bad wishes on anyone, but even when that was at its heyday, at its highest point, I was asking myself, no one here, no one here finds anything suspicious. No red flag raises to you. You're going to take your good self, your money that you go somewhere and work a whole month for, and just give it away there. Nothing about that raises a red flag for you. Okay, I mean, it's your money, but now we see where that turned. I know someone who signed up and tried to cash out and keep getting the runaround. Well, yeah. And who are you going to turn to? Especially if it's some kind of international app. Who you gonna sue? Who the lawyer gonna drop the letter to? And so, some of those applications, they could tell you anything on the number on the screen. Try to get it in cash in hand, and then we see where the proverbial rubber meets the road. I remember saying with those kinds of schemes a while back. What are we speaking about, can I ask? Well, I do not know the app. I'm going to say this again. I do not know the app. An app called Get Excel. I was just told about the app and someone asked about what I think about it. I do not know of it. I have never used it. I've never seen it. But it purports to be some kind of platform for trading. Some folks lost lots of money in an affordable home ownership scam, as much as 200,000. The whole business vanished. It has over 10, lol. 10 what, Jassy? But yes, the app purports to be some kind of money trading platform where you could do crypto wallets and all of that kind of stuff, and you could join at different levels and all of that. To me, I keep saying, I do not know the app, but from the introduction I hear right there, if someone comes to me and tells me that, the red flags have already been thrown. If you know the American football analogy, there's a flag on the play already. If it's swimming, we're talking about, I see the red flag stuck in the sand. You know, I'm seeing the danger already just by the introduction. I invested my money in that and got paid back in 1 month time. Queen 03 says, get GXL. Okay, actually 25 days. Good for you, Queen. Good for you, Queen 03. Good for you, Jassy. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I don't know, as I keep saying. I'm just saying generally how I view things. Something like that introduced the way it is introduced raises a red flag to me. Especially when it seems kind of obscure about how you make money. How, how exactly do you make the money? How is the money made? Like, how do you earn? Well, you see, Queno 3, that's the problem. A red flag is supposed to be raised when you hear free cash because there's nothing such as free cash. Even Monopoly money, you have to pay and buy the Monopoly game to get that. So, like, how is the money made? How do you make the money? Are you selling a product? Are you selling a service? Are you typing up letters for people and they're paying you for the letters that you type up? Are you doing some kind of online proofreading for them? Are you doing some kind of processing activity? What are you doing to make the money? These platforms work for a short space or period of time, Sandman FX says. And if they do that, it may be because they are schemes. Most schemes of those kind of natures, I mean, there are different names for them: pyramid, Ponzi, network, what they call multi-level network schemes and all of that. Different names, but the general idea is they keep bringing in new money and the old people get paid with the new money while the originators of the scheme scrape off the top. So Trinidad has 1.4 million people in Trinidad. If I collect $1,000 from 10 people and I tell those 10 people next week they're going to get 1,500 if they could bring in new people into my scheme. They bring in new people with their new $1,000, and the next $1,000 I collect from the next 100 people, which would be $100,000. I take 1,500 for the 10 first people and give them their 1,500. So they're good, but they did nothing really to earn that money, and no service was rendered. No money was made. Money was just shuffled around, and I took some for myself. And as soon as you run out of new people to con, the whole thing folds up. And if you are anywhere near the end of the line of the conning, then you may be one of those that are conned. So in many of those schemes, it's either one, you are going to be stealing money from people or getting your money stolen. One out of the two, very likely. Either way, you help some kind of con man at the top rake off the main profits. Actually, you don't have to get no one to get cash. Well, it's not, I said how some work as in the multi-level schemes. Not all of those Ponzi schemes are based on you getting someone. It's an app. The app can invite people on its own. And the people who get there shouting your glory. Yep. And then on top of that, an app trading your finances. You do understand that data, they say, is the new oil, which was the new gold or whatever you want to call it. Data is one of those most valuable resources right now in the world. What do you think an app is going to do with your financial information that you willingly give to it? You think all of your financial information would be perfectly private there? Things to consider, things to consider. I just don't trust those styles of apps. It just seems like a red flag floating around out there. But yeah, people, it's Thursday. You know, we were talking. This app is basically using your cash to market stuff. And when it sells, you get a percentage interest. To market what stuff? Using your cash to market stuff, and when it sells, you get a percentage. I still don't catch that, Queen. I'd have to go and read up on that because it's still, I still don't get how that works per se. This get rich scheme is a red flag to me. Yep. The stuff on it are very unreal. Yep. Like, I wouldn't be surprised you tell me, yes, you're marketing something here with your cash, and they tell you you're marketing something that you know isn't selling at all. You have no idea what your cash is being used for and where the cash you get back is coming from. Ne- Next thing you know, you end up in a global investigation for money laundering with terrorist links. A terrorist link scheme on money laundering, and they have Trinidadian John James has been linked to the global terrorist money laundering scheme coming out of the internet app. Like, so some people, you all have no questions. There is tutorials available, Nathan, and I can't wait to get your input at that time. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it, and it baffles me how people are getting away with this. Yes, man, it's about what you could prove. So the whole of Trinidad are going to be getting locked up. No. I'm just saying possibly, and I don't think many of these things you have a risk of prison. I honestly don't think there's a risk of prison for many of those schemes if you are involved. Very likely not. Now, if you are the kind of person that you have a moral compass that could be bothered by such, well, for one, you are making money. If you are making money, you are making money off of someone else's loss. You are not providing a service. Like the idea of the free market, the idea of capitalism, the idea of a business, of entrepreneurship is I am supposed to provide you with a service or a resource or a good, something you want, and you give me resources in return for that. No one loses in such an exchange. You get something you want, and I get something I want. That's the idea of business. But the idea of these schemes, the way you get money, the way you get paid, is when someone else loses. They get nothing. They gain nothing. Nathan, what you think about the land grab with Guyana and Venezuela and its impact on us here? I saw some internet posts about possible clashes happening on the border, but you know, when you have those kind of issues, you believe nearly nothing you see on the internet. So I don't know, but I have no idea, to be very honest. Like I would like to believe that Venezuela is kind of just all blustering and bluffing here, because I'm pretty sure Brazil, Suriname, all United States, nearly all of the more powerful countries on this side of the world are all kind of backing Guyana. So I really don't know what Venezuela expects to do truly. I don't see Venezuela attempting to do a military takeover of the region. Not because I think it's beneath their moral standard, but because I think it would just be a suicide mission. It would be an obvious loss. Even if they overpower Guyana's military, the moment you engage in a military conflict with Guyana over their land, you're going to, of course, engage the world police. Those guys are itching at an opportunity to use out their new ammunition. You have US senators talking about launching a war in Iran, a nearly impossible country for them to really conquer. You think they aren't going to jump at the opportunity to run into Venezuela? Like, I if I am to presume, I presume there's some kind of geopolitical play that is going on beyond all of this. I don't want to believe that the Venezuelan authorities went through all of this trouble to do the vote for nothing. Yes, December 3rd is the day. I don't want to believe they're doing it for nothing. So, like, there must be something coming of it. But at the same time, I just don't see December 4th coming around and Venezuelan military attempting to forcibly take Essequibo. And that is what they're going to have to do if they want it. Authorities, the bus driver presiding, managing, president managing economics. Well, yes, yes. He is the authority at the end of the day, bus driver or not. While Venezuela was starving, homeboy pulled an empanada out of his desk and stuffed his large face. Russia and Venezuela are friends. I want to see how that will play out if America intervene. Yes, that's true. But here's the problem. Russia is on the other side of the world, already engaged in a hot war on their border. Is it in Russia's best interest? And the Middle East seems to be heating up. Russia is Team Syria, Team Iran in the Middle East. Iran and Syria are by and large opposing Israel in all the conflict going on right now. So Russia is spread that way. Russia is fighting on the southwestern border with Ukraine. And then Russia is going to be able, while under embargo from most of Europe, somehow they're going to be able to get resources through to Venezuela. I just don't see it happening. Especially faster than the United States. The US is right there. I don't see the geopolitical move in that. And if Venezuela were to do something foolish and lose their hold, their authorities lose the hold they have on it, and it returns to the world liberal economic order, that's just going to be another loss for Team Russia and Team Cuba. Because Cuba would not like for Venezuela to lose their position on this side of the world, because then that further isolates Cuba. So I just don't know what the end game is there. I look at it and I can't see it. Anybody's guess is as good as mine, I suppose. Any other questions or comments on the inside? Commission of Inquiry wrapped up. Yep. I saw that, and the was it the president, what they call him, the main commissioner was saying that the family may deserve money and all of that. Like, if we go through all of that just to pay the family, couldn't we have just paid them already? We went through all of that. But how much? I can't even remember the cost. Some tens of millions. This commission cost. For what? For what? The report being sent to the president, and people are pleading that the report be made public. To me, that there's even a possibility that such a report not be made public is ridiculous on the face of it. How can the public pay to the tune of tens of millions, 53 million Rome is saying there? How can the public pay that for a report that the public isn't going to get to read? Are you insane? Then how the commission will make money if they just pay the family? Like, all the money they paid the commission, for my part, give all of that to the family too. Like, it's not that I want them to necessarily rob the treasury to give anyone. But if you're going to take money from our treasury anyway, don't give to some foreigners and lawyers who want to leech off of the public. Give to the wives and family of deceased blue collar workers. I'm cool with that. take all the commission of inquiry money, forget about the commission of inquiry, and give it all to the diverse families. I'd have been fine by me. Fine by me. Because as it stands, I don't see the sense in that activity. Yeah, the whole exercise we went along with there, what was the point? Anyone is going to be charged? Any serious conclusions are going to be drawn that will bring consequences and ramifications for anyone out there? What was the point? A lot of what government does seem to be URP for lawyers. We wouldn't have given them half, then take the rest and fix some roads. Yeah, a lot of what the government does seems to be URP for lawyers, in my opinion. You look at a great percentage of the decisions governments make, the moves they make. It's just like they're looking to make jobs, make work for lawyers. Ridiculous exercise, really and truly. But as per usual, make sure you're hitting that like button. Anyone inside of the live, any further comments or questions? Or are we just having a nice chill Thursday evening now and we're looking to call it an early night? No further questions or comments on the inside? No policy guidelines would out this. Oh, there was a story I was looking at. I find that a very interesting story about 5 robbery suspects that were held. I mean, it's a regular crime story, but a, a bit of who the suspects were was just so interesting to me in this story. Let's jump over to a story quickly before I run away. 5 robbery suspects arrested, illegal firearm ammunition seized in Central. My area, boy, Central. Officers arrested 5 robbery suspects and detained another man who was reportedly found with ammunition in the Central Division over the past 24 hours. The TTPS said around 6:15 p.m. on November 29th, 2023, Central Division area South were on mobile patrol along Rivulet Road, Couva, when they spotted a white Nissan Tida matching the description of a vehicle reported to be involved in a recent robbery. The officers pursued and eventually intercepted the vehicle along the northbound lane of the Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway in the vicinity of the tunnel. Police said there were 5 male occupants in the vehicle, including 2 locals and 3 Venezuelans. When officers searched the car, they allegedly found 1 Ruger pistol with a magazine containing 17 rounds of ammunition. The 5 men, a 24-year-old and 30-year-old from Laventil, and 3 Venezuelans, 23, 24, and 25, all from Carib Street, San Fernando, were arrested and conveyed to the police station. How 2 Laventilians linking up with 3 Venezuelans from Sando? Interesting. Good night, Rose Petal Angel Nick. When I read this, I was just like, very curious. That's a very curious development. And recently, a business lady in South said she was robbed, and one of the bandits she said had a Venezuelan sounding accent. Interesting. And I wonder, how do they know these Venezuelan men addresses and ages? Is it that they had IDs? So, being that they had IDs, were they legal residents who were allowed resident status, or were they illegals? And to me, I wonder, like, to me, that's a distinction I'd like to know. Are these Venezuelan nationals illegals or fully illegal, as in they never got their status registered, or are they registered here? And if you have roving bands of illegal immigrants now joining into the free for all of home invasion style robberies, what a nightmare indeed. My exact thought: how do they make these links? They will do good as foreign affairs personnel. Yeah, they would. Misuse talent, man. Misuse talent. Misused and misplaced talent. They obviously have ways of making their connections. Obviously. All right, yes. Any further comments or questions? Or is that it? I'm cool with getting an early night there. All right. If no further comments or questions inside of the live, we'll have an early dive out. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for the next Mindful Live, where we'd actually be discussing stories. Seems like we didn't have many people with uh comments and questions on Thursday. So we'll be back with stories again tomorrow evening if you're interested in joining us. What is your religion? Love is my religion. I am a Christian. Isaiah McIntosh. What is your religion? Why you ask? Oh, curiosity. Nice. All right. People, it was nice. As usual. Nice and chill. Mr. Perfect is typing. Okay, pause. I'll pause and wait on your type. On what you're typing there, Mr. Perfect. Ah, jazz. Mm-hmm. I am of the belief the army produces some bandits slash shooters. I think that's an understatement, Mr. Perfect. You know, I was watching one of those murders caught on security footage. A recent one in St. Augustine, where a business owner was murdered outside of his business place. And you look at the killer, how he moved. The guy had his finger in ready position. You know, usually if you aren't trained, those people keep their finger on the trigger all while they're walking. Right after he shot the man, he put his finger right on the outside of the pistol, bracing it there, and walked off tucking. I was like, this guy looks trained. But I mean, who knows? Maybe bad boys are getting proper firearms training these days. But the army being a training ground for bad boys and gunmen isn't a new revelation. It's something that has been known for a while now. They go in early, retire early, and if they had no foundation, what they resort to. Yep. There are many regiment men who are involved in nefarious activities, and some current regiment men who are involved in such too. Interestingly enough, like in schools, when I talk to many of the young men who sometimes are wayward, the sometimes the worst behaved young men in schools, regularly you talk to them and their career dream is to be an army man. Interestingly enough, there's that. And maybe in our law enforcement and security services, there could be better vetting to make sure the kinds of people that they get are more suitable. But Mr. Perfect says the shooters on the St. Paul, they don't even run you down again. They just shot. They just shoot. Yeah, they just shoot. And the reality is, with the kind of warfare that has been going on in the Trinidad underworld for a lengthy period of time, there would be some men in the criminal world very experienced in the shooting and murdering business, you know. I mean, 600 people are murdered per year in this country. That's a lot of business for murderers. So ministers don't see and observe these things, or just us? That's one of the ways you understand that governance is a lot more complicated and complex than some people make it seem. Like in the Mova region a couple months ago, when there was a breakout and a couple murders, and they said that there were two gangs within the region fighting, and the gang leaders may be behind the prison walls, but they are engaging in a gang war on the outside. And one brother was murdered, and the home was burnt down, etc., etc., etc. And they were mentioning that these people were involved in, you know, government contracts, and the government said, no, we don't know anything about that. Of course they did. Of course they do. The PNM is the political entity that represents those areas. The hotspot areas in Trinidad are represented by the PNM. That means there's a councillor that is responsible for the street that the main gang limes on. You think they have no idea about the ongoings there? Of course they know. Of course they know. They are aware. But it's a dealing with criminality is just one of those tricky things, as the statement coined by one Pablo Escobar. They say what his statement was: plata or plomo, silver or lead, as in either you take the bribe or you take the consequences of not taking the bribe, which is death. And if you are faced with that kind of those kind of options, many people take the silver. And there are many people who are taking the silver in Trinidad, and that's just the reality. The unfortunate reality as we face it. All right. Anything else? Any further questions or comments, folks? Or is all well in the beautiful Twin Isle Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? If so, I will make my exit and see you guys again next time. Nighttime salute. All right, Mr. Perfect. I'll see you guys again for the next Mindful Live, which is going to be tomorrow night, starting around 9. I'm hoping, we have to get back into that more timely mode. We slacked off on the time for the last 2 weeks or so. Aiming for 9. If I'm not coming, don't worry. I'll be sure to let it be known inside of the Discord server, so you don't have to worry if I'm going to come or not. But I'm hoping to be there by 9. Until then, people, I hope you're educated, informed, or entertained. I am Nathan Springer. This has been the Mindful Live. Peace out. Later. Bye.